King to be on this podcast.
Woo! What's up, everybody? You're listening to yet another edition of Cocaine Willie. I am your commissioner, Bob Trollsby, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, the good chef Andre Napier, and Fireball Matt Marchesini. I just took a dab of Da Bomb before recording, so you are seeing what that reaction looks like in real time. But we are going to talk women's hoops today. We're also going to talk Big 12 tournament food items. We're going to do our rankings for the Big 12 tournament food items. But the Big 12 tournament starts this week. Saturday, the women's team, we don't happen again.
Yeah, that's what you get. You fucked it up.
Eat shit. Yeah, Big 12 tournament starts this week. Starts, in the next couple of days. And the women's team is off until Saturday because they get the 2 rounds of buys because they finished as the 3rd seed. So, I mean, how are you feeling about the Big 12 tournament knowing that they get those 2 buys? They're gonna get some much needed rest for a team that's kind of struggled with some injuries the last couple of weeks, especially with Gabby Gregory, Yoki. A lot of these women they've had a hard time the last couple of weeks. Get into the stretch of Big 12 play, you're dealing with some injuries. What are you thinking?
Yeah, not 2 weeks off. The double bye, I think, is really going to help them focus on the game plan and improving on what they need to improve on, because the last viewing that we have of them was that their the last game that I remember seeing, which one was a tough one, was the Iowa State game. And defensively, I think the book was out on how to attack Ioka Lee and high pick and rolls and all that stuff. So, working on what they need to work on in terms of K-State versus K-State, as Chris Kleiman would kind of say it, I think is going to be good, where they don't have the expectation of, we got 4 teams that we got to roll through if we want to make the championship game. So it's so nice to have those double buys where it's you win 2, you're in there. So let's K-State get some momentum going into the NCAAs.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the bracket, this is a pretty decent side for us, if you think about it, because there's the potential of playing West Virginia, a team that obviously we beat at home, and the potential of playing against Texas, which we beat at home. We split the season series with Texas. You mentioned the rest piece, and I think that's the important piece out of this whole thing, is not having a game for a whole week. They can just take some time and get a little bit more healthy. And we saw how good this team could be when they are healthy. And so I've said this, this team, especially with the Ioka Lee coming back, I felt that over time with her return, they were going to get better. They dropped some games. The Iowa State game, especially at home, was one that I feel like they really just the effort was not there in that game, and you could definitely see it was a little bit of a struggle. Obviously, trying to contain. They have some good players. Iowa State has some really good young players. So thankfully, they're on the other side of the bracket. And there's potential here. I believe the women could very much make it to the final of this tournament. And that would be a huge accomplishment if they can make it there, especially knowing that on the other side of the bracket is an Oklahoma team that they almost beat in Norman. It was a close game up to the end, and K-State had an opportunity. They were down a possession in that game with the last shot. So there's some potential here with this bracket to make things happen. I'm looking forward to it. I know on Saturday the men play Iowa State at home, but anybody who might be going to that game and headed to Kansas City after, hope it's a good crowd at this. Well, not the Sprint Center, T-Mobile Arena.
What time is that Iowa State game? Iowa State versus K-State game.
I believe it is at 1:30.
Oh, that's plenty of time because the girls play at 8. So
they do play at 8. Yes.
I mean that's good timing right there. You could get a double header of basketball right there to be real nice. I could see a potential where we're not necessarily playing West Virginia because I think West Virginia is kind of in. I would say they're in the driver's seat for an upset loss. For me, in my opinion, from what I had seen from West Virginia, I think they rely a little bit too much on their guards and stretch shooting. And if that's missing, the girls from Cincinnati, I think UCF is really bad at basketball. But, if Cincinnati comes in there and they play bully ball, I think they could get it done. And I think that would really, really be well for K-State's bracket. It's wide open, like you said, Matt. It is wide open for any of these girls to come out there and get it done.
Yeah, the first thought I had when this bracket came out was I was exactly what Matt said. I thought this side of the bracket specifically set up well for K-State because West Virginia, you know what we can do against West Virginia. You know what we can do against Texas. We beat KU, split 1-1, and then BYU's the 10 seed. So depending on who comes out of that KU BYU and KU might be a salty matchup for Texas. Who knows? Texas is a good team, but we've shown this season that they have flaws.
KU dog walked them, if I remember correctly. The one girl that gave Ioka Lee fits
and Lawrence, they did.
She dropped like a
Skiter or whatever.
No. The one I always forget her name. But she had like a 2020 game versus Texas.
Oh yeah. But I did like our side of the bracket. I just thought that set up really well for this team, knowing who they've beaten, how they've beaten them this season, and knowing that last Texas matchup was without Yoki. So, that was in Austin. So I feel like you've got the proximity to Kansas City. You've got not a whole lot of enthusiasm for the men's team right now. So hopefully you can get out for the women's games and see them. And, you get it. You win that first game, you're automatically in the semifinal. So my next question is, when you look at that semifinal matchup, if it's against Texas, what do you think they have to do in that game, assuming they win the first one, in order to best position themselves to continue, or not continue to, but to hopefully host the first and second rounds in Manhattan?
I think they got to win it, right? At this point, they're trending down towards the bottom of even hosting. And I think that's kind of essential for this team to get those opening rounds where you don't want to be in somebody else's venue. You just don't want to do it. So,
and even Iowa State is technically listed as hosting based on where they landed with the initial top 16.
I hadn't seen that yet, but that would not be fun. But just those bracket reveals, when you're hosting, it gives you such an advantage to get to the Sweet 16. It is what it is. So I think you kind of have to beat Texas. Or the winner of that, you have to find a way to get to the finals of this tournament. And really, in terms of momentum, getting there to the finals would bode well for your, long-term success of what you can do in the NCAAs.
I agree with you. You're at the bubble right now for a top 16 seed. I mean, we're 15th, 16th, depending on the poll. You have to win your first game. And then if you want to feel comfortable about it, you're going to have to win that semifinal game. I think you're going to have to make it to the Big 12 tournament final to feel comfortable that you will be hosting an NCAA tournament game. So it is going to be a tough task, a tall order, especially knowing that, the West Virginia team that we played in Manhattan, that game went to overtime. They're a scrappy team. Chef thinks they might lose. whatever. If you end up playing Texas, you've shown that you can beat them once this season. So it's trying to just pick up a little bit of momentum. I mean, when you get to the month of March, and I mean now we're in March, obviously, but it's all about momentum when you hit these tournaments. And if you're a team that just starts kind of rolling with a victory, and you get another one, and you just build that momentum into a tournament final, into the NCAA tournament, that's obviously key. And we know the highs of this team, and obviously beating Iowa on the road and winning at Baylor and some of these wins. But we've also seen this team struggle, especially against a team like Texas when they played in Austin, even though they made it close kind of towards the end there. It's going to be entertaining. I mean, I wonder, I mean, on that Tuesday, could the men's team be playing on Tuesday and the women playing in the final at night? Wouldn't that be crazy in a bad way? But, it is what it is. So I'm excited.
When you look at the other side of the bracket, who are the teams that you would least likely want to face? And my head's going to Iowa State first.
Yeah, it has.
Oh,
has to be
100%.
has to be Iowa State. They put you in such a pickle with their what's the girl? Is it Brown? I think she's a freshman from Kansas,
from Derby, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Addie Brown.
she's a. I mean, she did work. I mean, it's. I don't think that was the best representation of what you could see in that matchup, because I don't know what crawled into Midi, or the team on a senior night at home. You just don't expect to see that kind of performance. I don't think that's typical what you could see, but Iowa State does things to you because they're so big, and their guards are pretty big too, and they're pretty good ball handlers, that it puts you in a pickle, and you kind of have to shoot it well, and you can't get bullied inside. And obviously they know the book where they're going to pick and roll you, and you're going to put you in a bind of who you're going to stop, the mid-range jumper or the roller. I'm fearful for Iowa State.
But the funny thing is, on that side of the bracket, you could easily see a Baylor team who you could say maybe underachieved a little bit this season, go through and they win their first matchup and they beat Iowa State, and you have a Baylor team then playing Oklahoma. And I feel like Oklahoma has been they haven't been talked about a lot, even though they won the Big 12. If you think historically in the Big 12, Baylor and Texas are usually the top two teams, and they get a lot more publicity for winning the Big 12 than what Oklahoma did this season. And it shows just kind of how under the radar they were. I think that also puts them at a little bit of a disadvantage because of how under the radar Oklahoma was this season. Is a time where they kind of maybe just hit a little bit of a fall here, especially could be playing an Iowa State or a Baylor. Iowa State is a scary team because you went 0-2 against them this season, and you don't want to play against them. That is for sure, just of kind of how they play. I will be interested to see how that translates in the NCAA tournament, because they do. That is a team that could score a bunch of points, make a lot of outside shots, and they get what's her name making shots on the inside, or they just go cold, almost like their men's team last season. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm definitely scared of Iowa State, though.
I feel like if I had to put money on it, I think it's going to be, if we're looking at the other side of the bracket, I think it's probably going to be OU who's in the final. I just think they're a really well coached team, and they've got Jackie Stiles on their coaching staff, which is kind of crazy to think about. One of was formerly the all-time leading scorer on the women's side, outside of Lynette Woodard. But I guess pivoting a little bit, I guess if we're just thinking about what's going to happen in the Big 12 tournament, gun to your head, will the women's team host first and second round?
Yes.
Yes.
3 yeses.
I think
That
it's
means it's
Wow.
a no.
I think we're right there on the bubble, and I think we're set up to, you know, win one game, be in a competitive game in the second round, and I think that kind of gets you, if you just kind of stay the course, I think we'll be hosting.
So one other thing that I was thinking about when we were talking about this, when you think about this K-State roster this season, you've got some great players, and Ayoka Lee is obviously the headliner there. But taking Yoki out of the equation, when you get to March, there's always a hero. There's always someone who becomes the Marquise Noel, who becomes the star of the tournament. And if you were going to put money on it, who would you say that's going to be for K-State this season? That can be in the Big 12 tournament. That can be in the broader March Madness NCAA tournament. Who do you think is going to be the star of March for K-State?
I think for me, it's Serena Sundell. I think she's going to be a star. I don't know what the plan is for Yoki to come back. You know, there's rumors flying around that might come back. She might not. But I think she's going to be the unquestioned leader of this team next year for sure. And I think this could be a coming out party to the nation watching K-State once they get to the NCAA tournament, of a player that could go inside, outside, assist, pass the ball for assists and play pretty rock solid defense in terms of forcing turnovers. I think she's got the look. She's got everything to be a star in this game. I think it's Serena Sundell for real.
Damn, that was who I was going to say also, just because I mean, it's important. It's so important to have a really smart point guard, especially in the women's game, of just dictating the offense and going to your star players. And she's very masterful in getting the ball inside, especially to Ayoka Lee. Even though Ayoka is double covered sometimes, I mean, and she puts the ball in there with such precision. She has an outside shot, as you said. She's able to get inside. She's going to be, as much as, you know, it's important to have Ayoka Lee playing, and we've talked about Gabby Gregory, and she's been hot and cold this season, but Serena Sundell, especially with the Ayoka Lee out, has been the one that has really kept this team, kept the team rolling, especially early on in that injury. Especially I think of the Baylor game where, she kind of went out at the end of that first half, but I look at that second half and she was very, very good from a point, just as the point guard. So I was totally going to say her right off the bat. If this team is going to go far in any of these tournaments, it's going to be on her shoulders to lead this team there.
I'm going to go with Gabby as more of a wild card there, just because she has been super hot and cold, but I feel like the way that she performed against Texas Tech with 13 points, it's not going to jump off the paper to you, but she needed a game to kind of get right. And I feel like if she gets right and has this week to prepare mentally and physically and otherwise, then she could get right at the right time. And I feel like we've seen that in years past, where maybe you have a player who's more hit or miss throughout the season. They kind of click at the right time and it happens for them. I'm hoping that's what can happen with Gabby as we enter Big 12 tournament play.
And the thing with, all these are, there's really no bad answer for this, but for Sundell, the thing about her is if she's not in foul trouble, she'll be on the court every minute of that game. So she's going to have the opportunity to be a playmaker and make plays. So I think just with the opportunity that she has, I think it's a no-brainer for her.
Yeah, Serena averages 32 minutes a game, so she will be on the court for most of it. Moving on, so let's talk Big 12 tournament food items. Last year, this was a huge topic of conversation for us. We did an entire episode on it, I feel like, last year. It felt like we did an entire episode on it. And Matt got to try out some of the different food items, including the Wabash Cannon Dog at that point in time. There were some other food items that were there, but yeah, K-State's food item last year was a bacon wrapped hot dog with purple relish. So yeah, I just want to talk about this again because every year it continues to deliver. and there's always some strange food item on here. But I'm just going to give the rundown of each school, what their food item is, what's on it. And
Are we
then
going to
we'll do
Are we going
rank.
to discuss? Are we going to discuss these one by one, or you just want to go rankings?
I'll give the rundown, and then if you want to discuss it, or what do you think works best? Do you want to discuss it as we go down the rundown?
I think we should discuss each one, just like,
Okay.
not go long, but just
Yeah.
give your immediate thoughts when you hear it.
Baylor brisket sliders, Dr. Pepper glazed brisket, sweet slaw on a brioche bun.
I mean,
that'll get fucked up easy. I imagine. Think about barbecue sitting in some hot tray.
Brisket at that.
It's going to be pulled brisket, so you don't have to worry about that. Like, it's not like Kansas City sliced brisket or anything like that,
Right,
where
yeah.
you're trying to have the perfect pull and the perfect flop and all that stuff. They're gonna cook that brisket to hell and put in a bunch of sweet. It's gonna be so sweet with a candied Dr. Pepper glaze on that, but you're gonna pull it. It's gonna be shreddy brisket. It's hard to mess that up when you combine it all together and then shred it. I think that's gonna be good. I think that's going to be good, dude. In my opinion, I think that's going to be pretty good.
I think it's going to be too sweet.
Okay, wait a sec. No. Like, people make pulled pork and they put pop in it.
That's pulled pork, not brisket. You don't put pop in brisket.
Look, it's going to be exactly the same. I'm going to tell you this. I will be the biggest pessimist on all these, but you will not be able to tell the difference between brisket and pulled pork when you're eating that sandwich. I will assure you of that.
I think you will be able. I think you'll be able to tell. I think this, and it being sliders, it being a smaller bite. I think it is going to be very sweet though. Sweet slaw. Brioche bun is already kind of the candy of it's the cake of the bread world. Yeah. So it's going to be pretty sweet. And if you're into that sweet meat, I'm into that. I'm into a good sweet meat.
If it's pork, I'm into a sweet meat. I don't really want it sweet if it's not pork. Like, yeah, that's just me. Speaking of sweet, you've got BYU's Cosmos Churros. It is a caramel-filled churro with a sweet cream drizzle, mini marshmallows, cinnamon sugar, and toffee crumble.
My God.
I have Sign to me the fuck up for that.
Yeah. That's going to be good, but the problem with this, if I was, to break down this plate, this requires a fork and spoon. When I eat my churros, I want it handheld.
It's got sweet cream drizzle. It's soaked in sweet cream.
You're having drizzle. You're having mini marshmallows. You're having toffee crumble on there. These are things that are not going to be able to stick to a churro that you can handheld. These are things that are going to require a bowl and you take bites of it with silverware.
Your hand's going to be a sticky mess.
If you could eat it with your hands, I think you're going to have to require a fork and spoon, which is unfortunate because
I don't think so.
This had the ability because what's the BYU thing that they have? The long donuts that they have? Cougar tail. So this could have been their little handheld, what's the word? Homage to a cougar tail, but I think they put too many ingredients on this. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what they say in the culinary world.
It does look good. Like, it looks objectively very good.
I haven't seen it. Where are these photos at?
Go to so I sent you the rundown list that I'm looking at, and then
that's what I'm looking at.
Then we've got the Twitter thread.
Okay,
the first tweet I sent is from the conference. Okay,
can you text that to me?
Yes, I'll text it to you,
dude.
You want me to email
these? You can easily eat these with your fingers. Come on.
I don't know. It depends on that sweet cream drizzle that it's soaking.
You can't, dude. You.
And you would say soaking. You would say soaking with that.
You couldn't get all the ingredients without using multiple hands or utensils, in my opinion.
So moving on for the Central Florida Golden Knights, we have the Citronaut drink, which is orange soda and vanilla ice cream. So it sounds kind of like, I don't know, like a carbonated orange Julius.
I think it's like a creamsicle.
Creamsicle.
I like.
Talk about
I think it's.
Talk
I
about a
think
way
it's
to
creative.
disrespect Central Florida with orange soda.
I think it's
The thought-
creative.
You look at the list of all these things and how they have different ingredients, and the Big 12 is basically saying to UCF, you get orange soda and vanilla ice cream.
I think it's going to be a hit. I like that. I like
Would
that a lot.
would you prefer this or like a shot of Everclear and some board shorts with a side of regret?
With simply orange as the chaser. That'll get the UCF. Oh, what about how about like a turkey leg? Go full Disney World.
You guys said this last year.
We talked about that one last year.
Come on, these guys are being innovative. They're bringing.
Oh, we did say that.
Menu innovation.
We didn't have a. Did we have a drink last year? I don't remember having a drink last year.
I don't recall.
Baylor had the Dr. Pepper float.
Okay. So maybe they didn't innovate too much. They kind of just changed Dr. Pepper for orange drink.
Very good.
You want to know what they didn't innovate? Was the Cincinnati cheese coney, which is the next item.
Yeah.
It's literally just a hot dog with Cincinnati style chili, onion, and cheddar cheese, which is exactly the same.
They should designate specific bathrooms for people in the T-Mobile Center who ordered that as a meal. Like, they get a ticket. They get a ticket for a specific bathroom that they have to use.
There's so much missed opportunity with this cheese coney. If you're gonna sell a hot dog, all for it. We had a bacon wrapped wiener last year. Mind you, they could have done so much more with this. They could have, have instead of onions, how about we do spaghetti, like dehydrated spaghetti, like garnish on this, and an homage to the spaghetti, the chili spaghetti. Do something to entice the Cincinnati fans to buy it.
I don't think Sodexo is going to be going out and purchasing dehydrated spaghetti so they can.
This ain't Applebee's, all right.
Listen. They could have done so much more. You said
dehydrated spaghetti. Isn't that technically just spaghetti?
Well, you can make fresh spaghetti. There's dried spaghetti.
I understand there's dried spaghetti. Isn't that technically dehydrated spaghetti?
Right. Dried spaghetti.
Oh, my God. The one thing I will say is looking at the photo of this, missed opportunity on the cheese, because when you look at that Cincinnati style chili, it always has that massive, just like literally like 2 cups of cheese sitting on top of the coney. And this, I think I can count on 2 hands the amount of cheese shreds there are on it.
If there was no cheese, it'd be better.
It might, I don't know, it might be. The next one. So this is not a shredded beef brisket, but this is a chopped beef brisket, which isn't that different. Shasta's brisket tacos for Houston. Chopped beef brisket, corn and black bean salsa, cilantro, lime, and corn tortillas. This one I thought looked pretty solid. Out of all of the 14, this is one of the ones that I would probably gravitate toward.
And they don't look very filled. Obviously, a white corn tortilla. Not a huge fan of that. Give me a yellow corn tortilla. Okay. It's pretty simple, and I'm not afraid of going simple. I think this, if you execute, this is more of a you want the flavor. It's not very visually appealing, but it's got to have the flavor to back it up if you're going to keep it simple like that. So yeah, I think this is an 8 out of 10 for me.
There's so many things in Houston you could have done except a brisket taco.
What would you have gone with?
Houston is a culinary haven.
Don't they have like the largest population of like Thai?
Vietnamese.
Yeah, Vietnamese.
Banh mi, they could have done a pho.
A brisket banh mi.
Brisket banh mi, brisket pho.
Or just catering El Tiempo fajitas and
enchiladas. Fajitas.
Or that avocado bomb that they have, whatever it's called.
All right.
God, the Big 12 needs to hire me. I swear to God, not Chef and his dehydrated spaghetti idea.
We are offering free
Chef's
consulting
idea of
advice.
dehydrated spaghetti is stick it through hot dogs and boil it so it looks like whatever. This flying.
I would put wet noodles on that hot dog.
You're a wet noodle. The next food item, Iowa State has a green chili pork walking taco. Doritos, green chili pork, shredded lettuce, cheddar and jack cheese, and sour cream. I am a huge pork green chili fan.
Huge.
I love making that every year. It's a staple out here in Colorado and New Mexico. Sign me up. Walking taco all day, every day. This is the only good thing Iowa State could ever do.
This is the elite. This is probably the best thing that's on there. This is, creative. It looks fun. I think, man, give me a fork and I'm going to town on that, baby. This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
That's typical Iowa State. They're going to have the same thing every single time. So maybe next year it'll be a Busch Light and vanilla ice cream, and that'll be the float.
Oh, it's a Busch latte. It's a Busch latte. The next one is for our great friends down I-70. Big J's loaded mac and cheese. It's cavatappi pasta, creamy cheese sauce, house smoked pulled pork, barbecue sauce, crispy fried onions with a dash of crimson red pepper flakes. It just seems like a little too much is going on here.
As a suburb of Kansas City, it makes sense to have something barbecue related, right?
This doesn't do it for me at all. This doesn't do it.
I mean, I would never order this ever.
I wouldn't order this either
because I don't like cheese. But
strictly wouldn't order it because of KU. But yeah,
the cheese. Sure. It's the
maybe
cheese.
I should have said that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one.
So the next one is from ours truly, K-State, Power Cat PB&J. It's a fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It basically looks like an Uncrustable that's been deep fried and coated in powdered sugar, which sounds delightful.
It's an empanada. Let's cut to the chase. It's an empanada.
Totally.
Okay, now let me get serious for a second. The issue I have with this, because we've talked about peanut butter on this show multiple times. You deep fry this peanut butter and jelly. That is going to be an injury waiting to happen. Somebody's going to bite into this thing, and it's going to be molten peanut butter and liquefied, basically hot iron going into your mouth with liquefied jelly and hot peanut butter. You're going to burn everything in your mouth 100 times over. This is an injury waiting to happen.
What if it's air?
They need something to dip it in.
I don't care if it's hot. If you have hot peanut butter and hot jam, have you ever seen what hot jam looks like?
For this.
What dipping sauce to dip it with?
What, like icing?
I don't know. Maybe some more jelly.
I would think like a Cinnabon icing would be a good dipper, because you can't really go with like a super aggressive flavor, like a chocolate. I don't know if that would go well.
No.
Okay.
Now, mind you, what would I do with this? What do you have with your peanut butter and jelly when you're a kid? You have a glass of milk. I would have whipped cream.
Whipped cream maybe.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. I like that.
I'm going to state this as a peanut butter and jelly guy. The best thing I ever learned is cooking your PBJ like you make a grilled cheese.
See, you guys in this hot peanut butter, man, you're going to get yourselves hurt.
Okay, I don't eat it 3 seconds out of the pan like an imbecile. You got to let it cool for a little bit. But the toasted bread, and as it cools down, I mean, what do you think we are?
I don't like deep fried things that are, at room temperature. They're creamy or they're jellified. When you heat those up, you're asking for a lot of, you got a lot of trust that you can bite into this and it won't scorch your face. Mind you, I'm telling you, I'm going to be on Twitter looking for this because the people are going to say they're hurting themselves.
It's going to be a lawsuit waiting to happen. Someone's
It
going to
is.
sue. Someone's going to sue the T-Mobile Center for not having a warning label on the empanada, the PB&J empanada. The next item, and for their final year in the conference, Oklahoma gets their onion burger, and it's tobacco onions and a ranch dipper. And me personally, big fan of an Oklahoma smash burger. I don't know if this is executed similarly to that. It doesn't
This
look
doesn't
like
look like anything like it.
No, and the cheese looks cold.
It's ice
in
cold.
the photo. Yeah, it
Ice
looks
cold.
horrible. But ranch on a burger, sign me up. Fried onions on a burger, sign me up.
Today I learned
tobacco-
tobacco onions or fried onion strings.
It's just onion straws. It's just
Onion
onion
straws.
straws. Yeah. The only
This
thing
burger-
they add chili powder to the breading to give them that dark color. That, I mean, obviously in this picture it's not that, but they're supposed to give it a dark look like tobacco. That's why they call them that.
Okay, I read the description on this and I thought it was going to be my favorite, and then I looked at the photo and it looks like ass. So
It's bad in the photo.
yeah,
My
Damn.
thing is, they're not serving it on this dish, right? Obviously, they're not going to give you a porcelain dish, so they're going to give you a cup of ranch and this cold cheese burger. I'm not signing up for that. I am really upset at the visual aids that they're giving this. This is culinary 101. Make the food look appealing, for God's sakes.
The next one I feel like looks appealing. The Oklahoma State Orange Power Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Pepperoni, sausage, ham, sweet pepper, bacon, mozzarella, cheddar, and a ranch drizzle.
This is the total opposite of what we just dealt with. The words for this scream, I'm not touching it. But the look of it, it looks good. It almost looks like it's like cheese. What? You don't like it?
It looks like a Red Baron pizza with ranch on top.
It probably is.
It looks so
probably
ready.
is.
Like, this isn't
The dough. Yeah, the dough doesn't
pizza.
look great. The dough doesn't look great.
It looks like it's
No.
cheese, like cheese stuffed crust almost.
Maybe that's where
Yeah,
the
but
cheddar
it's
is.
just gonna be hard.
A whole block of. You're just a cheese hater. How do you eat pizza?
We're not getting into this discussion on this show, but I'm not saying
you ask
no.
for no cheese
I'm not
on your
saying
pizza?
no. No, I asked for light cheese because I
Oh,
need something
Lord
to stick
Jesus.
the toppings on, and then I just dip it in ranch. No wonder
Okay.
I would not order this.
Marinara. You just order breadsticks with marinara on the side.
I love breadsticks and marinara. Actually,
You are a breadstick guy.
The next one are the Cowtown Loaded Tots for TCU, featuring fried tater tots, spicy queso sauce, chopped house smoked brisket, corn and black bean salsa, topped with horned frog purple sour cream. I will just say, I'm glad we don't have the food coloring item this year, because we talked about the purple relish last year and how unappetizing that looked. This doesn't look super appetizing with the purple sour cream on it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think it's the opposite. I think opposite. I think the purple really gives it a pop. I think it's fun. I think it's gonna dye your mouth purple. I don't I think it's gonna really wreck you're gonna have purple teeth like what's the purple stuff that they put on their teeth now to stain it white? Oh my God.
It looks like frosting.
It does kind of look
God,
like frosting.
imagine what that is coming out. What color that's gonna be.
Yeah,
God, that looks horrific, actually.
Do you guys remember purple ketchup when you were a kid?
That is exactly what this looks like.
Yeah.
This kind of looks like purple ketchup.
That's what I get purple ketchup vibes, or like the green and the purple ketchup when you were growing up.
Yeah,
Huge
that was
fan of those. I was always in favor of that. This one's an 8.5. I'm obviously tot guy, big tot guy.
For their last year in the conference, they gave Texas a baked potato.
Okay.
So they have the Big Bertha loaded baked potato with chopped house smoked brisket. We're seeing a common theme here with the Texas schools, by the way, if no one else noticed. But they have chopped house smoked brisket, cheddar cheese, green onion, sour cream, butter, and barbecue sauce.
More like Sodexo got a really good deal on brisket. So everything has brisket in it.
I just don't know. I don't know how well you're going to be able to execute a baked potato in a stadium atmosphere.
Oh my God. Are you kidding?
That's easy,
That's
right?
that's
That's easy.
ideal. This is easy.
That is. This
You
actually
bake
is easy.
This is the easiest thing on here. I would love
Yeah.
that.
I
Baked
don't know.
potato is by far the easiest thing. You could bake hundreds of potatoes, wrap them in foil, and as soon as that baby comes in, that's probably going to be the most quality product that's going to be here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because they're going to be, I mean, the pizzas are going to be pre-baked, the burgers are going to be pre-cooked, the empanadas might be fried in advance because you don't want to just be holding up lines waiting to deep fry things. Maybe the walking taco is going to be pretty easy, but I don't know how far in advance they're going to assemble those. But a baked potato, it's already baked. I mean, all they're doing is just throwing the ingredients on it right in front of you. Hopefully that's what they're doing. And that'll be the freshest thing you're going to eat there, in my opinion.
Do you think these are baked on Himalayan sea salt?
No. They're probably no seasoning on the outside
all
of the potato.
All the russet potatoes.
Yeah, these are Costco potatoes for sure. They might get away with. Depending on how I can't tell from scale, they might not even be russet potatoes. They probably might. Who knows what these potatoes are? I doubt they're russet.
Like
a russet is going to be like a damn pound and a half potato.
Yeah,
they're not giving you that. These might be yellow skins for all I know.
So the odd man out of the Texas schools, you've got the Masked Rider burger for Texas Tech. It's an all beef patty with cheddar, fried onion ring, sweet pickled jalapenos,
okay,
Red Raider burger or barbecue sauce.
I like that.
No brisket.
This thing looks overcooked as fuck.
That's what you're gonna get, dude. They're gonna par cook these burgers, and they're gonna be sitting in a steam well.
Yeah, it looks super overcooked.
Like they left it on the grill 30 minutes. And what is the yellow dripping next to the burger? That looks so. Could they not have cleaned the plate?
That's that's pickled jalapeno juice for sure.
I mean, poorly executed.
I guess
poorly executed.
Of all the burgers, this is the best one though.
If it's done well, I would go with the Oklahoma burger.
So how does this burger give you Raider rash?
Jesus. Probably from that bread and butter pickle jalapeno.
Is it the pickle jalapenos?
The last school specific item is the Mountaineer pepperoni roll, which is a returner. This is a return item because West Virginia has nothing else going for it other than these pepperoni rolls that they talk about all the time. And it's sliced pepperoni, mozzarella on a sliced pepperoni and mozzarella cheese roll. That's the official description. It looks like Stromboli.
I swear somebody got it last year and they said it was actually like pretty good. So
no, I mean if anything, it's like a flat press panini pepperoni and mozzarella. It's like a panini. I mean, you can't go wrong with it.
No.
It is what it is.
No,
it's meat and cheese wrapped in bread.
Yeah.
How could you go wrong?
Well, for you, it would be the cheese. That's how you go wrong.
Okay. Wow. So big question.
It's an inverted pizza. It's like
so the big question is which one of these is going to get botched so bad that people are going to be talking about it?
Well, we are missing one, and it's not school specific, but it's the Big 12 dog. And it is the conference food item, which is a foot-long all-beef hot dog with both ketchup and mustard, red cabbage slaw, black sesame seeds, diced white onion, spicy cheese sauce, and sautéed orange peppers.
Too many ingredients. Too many ingredients.
It's too much for us.
Too much for a hot dog. Too messy.
Too much for a hot dog that's not a chili dog.
Correct.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's probably on the same level of ingredients as a Chicago dog. So, I mean,
except the cheese, but yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't have a spicy cheese sauce on it.
No, I'm
You're
not saying that. I'm not
Portillo's
saying it's
ordering a
I'm
spicy
saying
cheese sauce.
I'm in terms of number of ingredients going on.
Yeah.
A Chicago dog is very busy. This is very busy. It is a foot long, so God knows you're probably paying $14 for that thing. But I wouldn't do that. That's towards the bottom of my list. But to your question, Matt, the thing that's going to get botched, I think it's going to be TCU's Cowtown loaded tots. I think that's sour cream. They're definitely not.
I think it's going to look disgusting.
Yeah, I don't think they're going straight drizzle on it. They're not going to go drizzle on it. It's just going to be straight like a glob of, maybe like get to the bottom of the.
Horrific. It's going to be horrific.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the number one people are going to be talking about.
I think the coney is going to get botched. Like you said, Matt, it's going to end up. You're going to need to have a designated bathroom just for the people who use that.
But the thing is, you can make a hot dog not look like shit by covering it with something that looks like shit.
True. Are we talking botched appearance-wise or botched execution?
It's going to be botched execution. Well, it'll be botched with execution, and it's going to not look great either.
My thing is, what are they doing with the garnishes in the background? They have a poblano pepper, kale, random like Scotch bonnet peppers, and then a freaking kiwi. What is a kiwi doing there? What are we doing here? Why?
Look, we are a worldwide conference.
Why a kiwi? Nobody's using kiwi in their ingredients.
And why is it the same? Well, I was going to say it's the same for every photo, but then you go up to the KU one and there's a cucumber in it.
Maybe that is what I'm looking at. I thought it was a poblano pepper that was scorched. But
there's some kale. There's some kale behind the walking taco.
Yeah, there's kale in almost all of them. But why is there a kiwi in these?
Nothing makes me want to eat brisket tacos more than seeing a kiwi in the background.
And then the Citronaut drink doesn't get a garnish. It's just a silhouette of the freaking drink. That's so funny.
Oh my! It looks like if I went to like some island bar at an all-inclusive and they're selling this drink for me.
It looks
the Bahama
good.
Breeze.
I would drink the hell out of it. You throw some,
and it looks like it's soft serve ice cream. Is it soft serve?
Oh my god!
That's probably pretty good.
Did you put some freaking rum in that? Oh baby.
Okay. All right.
Well, it's UCF, so it'll be Everclear. Of course, or I guess you could put some Malibu rum. Who knows? All right. Good. So I guess what's your top menu item? What's your bottom menu item?
I think my top menu item is the walking taco. My bottom menu item is the chili cheese coney, the Cincy cheese coney.
My top one is the churros. And
good answer.
And the worst one is definitely the loaded tots.
Oh man, you're disrespecting the tots.
Yeah, I don't think they look good either. So I'm gonna go with you on that. But I'm gonna go with the brisket tacos. Those sound good to me. And then the bottom tier, like worst of them all. I'm gonna go with the cheese coney.
I think we're not giving enough credit to how bad these burgers look. These look really bad.
That is exactly what a burger looks like from a concession stand at any major. So
yeah.
You know what though?
Okay, I'm gonna go 1A was the walking taco, and then 1B is the baked potato. The baked potato looks damn good.
I don't think we've appropriately poured one out for the Wabash Cannon Dog. It had a tough run last season, including yours truly, eating it and wondering why the hot dog tasted like that and why the bacon was so soft and why the relish wasn't purple, and wondering, is this the representative for K-State? in the Big 12 tournament, and it was because we laid a stinker against TCU. So maybe it was the hot dog that brought it. So maybe the fried Uncrustable.
Who
is
won
our
last
thing.
year? Who
Texas.
won last year? Texas won it. Okay.
Oh yeah, they did.
I think, man, that crust. No, the empanada is. I'm glad we got a dessert this year. There's 3 sweet items on this menu. I don't remember 3 sweet items last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good menu. For the most part, it's a good menu. I think it's better than last year. I don't know how much of that is just quantity over quality, but
I think it's elevated for sure. The Wabash Cannon dog was so bad, dude.
nasty. Well, for all of us at Cocaine Willie, thanks for listening to the show on your podcast feed or watching us on YouTube. Do us a favor if you're listening on Apple or Spotify podcast, leave us a 5-star rating and follow the show. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. You can follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, or follow us individually. I'm at Bob Trollsby. Fireball Matt is at Matt Marchesini, and Chef is at Chef Andre Napier. Chef.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, baby.
We are all Coke and no joke. Wildcat Country.
Let's ride.
Let's
Let's
win
ride.
Confetti flies.
a championship. Whoa.
Yeah.